Hi, Rashid Kapadia here with my Vipassana Voyage video number 7. Truth be told, this isn't about my voyage, but it's a compilation of clips I've been meaning to put together for quite a while. Why? Because when I first started looking into doing Vipassana, I watched a documentary called Doing Time, Doing Vipassana. And what happened is a line from that documentary stayed in my head. It goes something like this. The records from the Buddha's time tell remarkable stories of serial killers being changed into saints and tyrants becoming model rulers after having learned and practiced this technique. Now this line stayed with me, and as I watched more and more documentaries, videos and discourses, I came across a few specific stories that validated this argument, this statement. So I decided sometime I will put together these clips, and that's what I've done now. So video clip number 1 is from Doing Time, Doing Vipassana. It's a little bit of a background of Vipassana, how it was preserved, how it has come back into modern times, how it has gone into prisons, and the story of one prisoner, Babu Bhaiya, who turned from an angry person into a calm person and sought a reconciliation with the families of his victims. The second and third video clips are directly from Mr. Goenka's Discourses. And one of them is about a serial killer from the Buddha's time called Anguli Maal. And the second clip of Mr. Goenka's Discourse, which is our clip number 3, is about an Emperor Ashoka who got converted from being a tyrant to a model ruler, and this was about 300 years after the Buddha's time. Our clip number 4 is from another documentary called The Dhamma Brothers, about a prisoner called Grady Bankhead, who also, you see the transformation that he goes through after having become a dedicated Vipassana meditator. And the last clip number 5, is also a video from a discourse by Mr. Goenka. It's an unusual insight that I think explains why these transformations happen, where he says it is both the person who is being bullied as well as the bully who are worthy of, and it is necessary for them too to be given compassionate treatment, and in the determination that they too can come out of their own suffering and become better human beings. So those are the 5 clips. Let's move now to clip number 1, Doing Time, Doing Vipassana. Here we go.
Vipassana is a journey of discovery, taken with closed eyes. The goal is not simply to satisfy the traveler's curiosity, but to get transformed by the journey and start living a better life. Vipassana means to see things as they really are, in their true nature. It is an ancient meditation technique discovered 25 centuries ago in India by a man named Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha. The records from the Buddha's time tell remarkable stories of serial killers changed into saints, and of cruel tyrants who became model rulers by practicing this technique. With the passing of time, civilizations rose and fell, but Vipassana was carefully preserved and passed on from generation to generation in South Asia. Today, it is taught by S.N. Goenka, an Indian who was born and grew up in Burma. Mr. Goenka learned Vipassana from his Burmese teacher, Sayaji Ubakin. In 1969, Mr. Goenka arrived in India and started teaching Vipassana. A few years later, he was given a challenge by the renowned Indian leader, Vinoba Bhave, to teach Vipassana to youngsters and to hardened criminals.
I said, I am here to serve. If you can arrange, I will teach the hard criminals in the jail. I will teach the students. He arranged in the school, and it was very successful. but he could not arrange in the prison because the rules of prison, manual of prison is such that a teacher cannot go and stay there, one has to stay outside, and that was not acceptable to me. When a course is given, I must be there with my students. It could not materialize. But later on, the Rajasthan government was good enough to relax their rules, and first course was given there in the Jaipur jail.
In 1975, in Jaipur, prisoners learned Vipassana for the first time. Mr. Goenka insisted again on some conditions, and the prison authorities were trying hard to meet his demands.
Before the course started, some people were brought in chains and ankle chains. So he said, "What is this?" I said, "They are very hardened criminals and very dangerous criminals, and we want that they should also take a course." But he said, "Why have you put the chains on them? Because they are dangerous." He said, "No, I can't give Dhamma to the people while they are in chains. So they have to be removed." And the IG and the superintendent of jail, they didn't agree. Because the IG said that there is a great possibility that one of them or few of them will get up and strangle Mr. Goenka or you as Home Secretary, and they will get a big name. Because they are in any case dying, they will be hanged or they will have serious punishment. So we took little risk, and it was decided that they will put a guard close by, and if anybody got up menacingly towards us, he should be shot.
Fortunately, no shot had to be fired. The Jaipur jail course concluded peacefully. Its success led to more courses in other prisons. One of them was Baroda jail. The superintendent, Mr. Vora, was impressed by the effect of Vipassana on his prisoners and decided to take a course himself. After that, he arranged 5 more courses in Baroda jail.
कैदियों के बीच और स्टाफ के बीच में जो कोऑर्डिनेशन है वह भी अच्छे तरह से चल रहा है. कैदियों को अपने फैमिली के साथ का जो व्यवहार है वह भी अच्छी तरह से चल रहा है. कैदियों में जो रिवेंज लेने की जो भावना है कि मैं यहाँ से छूटूं और बाद में उनको मार डालूं, ऐसा कर डालूं, ये सब उनमें से निकल गया.
Babu Baya was notorious for killing 3 people in 5 minutes during a gang fight.
और जो मेरी खिलाफ पार्टी थी, जिनके लिए मुझे नफरत थी, बदले की भावना थी, विपස්සना साधना से इतना परिवर्तन आया कि उनके लिए मुझे एक तरह की हमदर्दी जागी, अपने किए पे पछतावा हुआ.
After taking a course, he contacted the family of his victims, seeking forgiveness.
यानी समाधान कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ के लिए वो तैयार भी हुए, और 92 में रक्षाबंधन के दिन यहाँ पे आके उन्होंने मुझे, दोनों बहनों ने काफ़ी खेलदिली पूर्वक स्व खुशी से आके उन्होंने राखी बांधी और एक भाई बहन का पवित्र नाता उन्होंने यानी जोड़ा है. और आज भी मैं उनकी फैमिली को पूरा अच्छी तरह अपनी फैमिली की तरह ही संभाल रहा हूँ.
क्षमा देना और क्षमा आपना ये दोनों बहुत मुश्किल काम है. जिसका हस्बैंड मार डाला है, जिसका भाई मार डाला है, उनके हाथ में, उनके मुंह में राखी बनना, उनके मुंह में कुछ स्वीट डालना, हिम्मत वाली बात.
Welcome back. So let's summarize what happened in that clip. We saw a little bit of how the technique came to be about 2,500 years ago, how it was preserved, the teachings and the technique in a little pocket in Asia, what today is Burma, and how it has started spreading in modern times through the work of Sayagi Ubakin and Mr. S.N. Goenka. We saw how it spread into schools and into prisons, and we saw a remarkable story about a serial killer, Mr. Babu Bhaya, and his transformation, and how he reached out to his victims' families seeking and indeed getting a reconciliation. Remarkable. Now let's move to the next 2 clips. Both are from Discourses from our Vipassana teacher, S.N. Goenka. Both of them are between 2 to 3 minutes each, not long. The first one is about a serial killer from the Buddha's time and his transformation. The serial killer's name is Anguli Maal. And the next clip is from 300 years after the Buddha's time, Emperor Ashoka, who got transformed, changed from being a cruel tyrant to a model ruler committed to spreading this technique, to getting all people in his nation out of suffering. They are remarkable stories, and I urge you to pay full attention to them. and watch them with an open mind, because I do believe there are lessons for modern times in them. On to video clips 2 and 3.
At the time of Buddha, how miserable people came out of their misery, not because of any miracle or magic of Buddha. The same technique was given. One instance of this person, Anguli Maal, a young man very angry. He had taken a vow that he will kill 1,000 human beings. How much anger he has got. And he killed 999 of them. And he was looking for the 1,000th one. And how to remember how many he has killed? So whomever he kills, he cuts the finger and puts such a garland round his neck and keeps on counting how many fingers. And that is why he was called Anguli Maal. One, he is wearing a garland of fingers. When he was looking for the 1,000th person, he came across Buddha, or rather Buddha out of compassion came to him just to save him from his misery. No magic, no miracle, same technique was given to him, and he started realizing that he is a miserable person, full of misery, and started working on it, and working, he came out of misery. He reached the final goal of full liberated person, an anarant, full of compassion, full of love, full of goodwill for others. And now he goes around from village to village, from countryside to countryside, from city to city. Everywhere people are so miserable. I was so ignorant. Out of my ignorance I had been harming myself, I had been harming others. Like me, there are so many who are harming themselves, they are harming others. If they get this wonderful technique, certainly they will come out of their misery. Certainly they will come out of their misery. So out of compassion, he goes to different places, teaches this Dhamma, this technique to others. Some people recognize him. Although he has become a monk now, he is the same Anguli Maal who has killed my mother, or killed my father, or killed my wife, or killed my husband, or killed my son. Same Anguli Maal. And out of anger they throw stones at him, they beat him, blood starts flowing from his body. But from the heart, only compassion flows. Oh, miserable people! I was also equally miserable. Out of ignorance, I was harming myself, I was harming others. See this technique, how it helps you. You will come out of all your misery. Give it trial, give it trial. Full of compassion, the whole life full of compassion. "300 years after Buddha, during the time of Buddha and during 300 years after Buddha, this technique spread in northern parts of India. Then after 300 years, there came an emperor, a king, an emperor by the name of Ashoka, and a very cruel person, very ambitious person, wanted more and more of his empire, to spread his empire. He don't mind killing people, maiming people, harming people, just out of this greed to have bigger empire. And he was feeling very proud to call himself Chanda Ashoka, Ashoka the cruel. He was very happy to say that. People getting frightened by his name. How this person, because of some good paramis of the past, he came in contact with Dhamma and he got totally changed. By practicing Dhamma, he realized harming people and getting more and more wealth and more power, how is that going to help me? I am harming myself, I am harming so many people. He became totally changed. And then people started calling him Dhamma Ashoka. One who was Chanda Ashoka, Ashoka the cruel, now become Dhamma Ashoka, Ashoka the master of Dhamma, who was now developed in Dhamma, full of love, full of compassion. He started serving people, because once one tastes Dhamma, one cannot resist. One feels like giving it to others, more and more people. All this population, the people, my subject, they are like my own children. As I want my children to develop in Dhamma and come out of their misery, I like the entire population of my country to take Dhamma and come out of their misery. He started spreading with all the love, with all the compassion, giving a good example as to how he has changed. Others should also change. And not only northern India, nearly whole of India started practicing. He trained teachers, large number of teachers, who went around every part of India and started teaching it. And then he thought, why only India? Misery is there around the world everywhere, so why not to the other countries? And he sent to different countries, from in the west up to Europe and the whole of Asia. He sent his, he called Dhamma Duta, ambassadors of Dhamma, to teach Dhamma, to teach Vipassana.
Welcome back. We just watched 2 video clips from 2 discourses by Mr. S.N. Goenka, one about a serial killer, Anguli Maal, from the Buddha's time being transformed, and another about an emperor 300 years after the Buddha's time being transformed and spreading the technique across India and onwards to the rest of the outside world. Now let's move on back to modern times, another documentary, our video on clip number 4. This documentary is called The Dhamma Brothers. It's about a prisoner from a jail in the United States, Alabama, Donaldson Correction Facility, and his transformation. The prisoner's name is Grady Bankhead, and his story is told remarkably in this documentary. So on to video clip number 4, the story of Donaldson Correctional Facility and Grady Bankhead.
While I was here as a psychologist, we had a House of Healing program which highlighted doing meditation as part of our relaxation techniques. It turned out that the inmates are very receptive to meditative practices. Vipassana really takes it one step further, and that goes to the sensation level, to where it puts you literally in touch with your bodily sensations to realize these sensations are driving your behavior.
So I've been locked up 16 years, 8.5 years on death row in that 5/8 cell. And every morning I'd have to get up and live with the fact that I have isolated myself from everybody that I loved, isolated everybody I loved from me, and pretty much wrecked their lives. I had small children. They had to grow up in this community where their father has done this horrific act. You know, they had to go to school with kids that your father is a murderer. I thought I had a real good life going, and I blew it. My mother took us out in the country to this old deserted farmhouse. She didn't know what to do. She didn't think she could raise us. She got us out of the car, set us on the front steps, and she told me, I want you all to be good. I love you all, and I'll be back in a little while. She hugged me, hugged Danny, got in the car and left. She left us out there to die. She didn't want to live herself, is what she told me later. I didn't hear from her again until I got to death row. But I was so drunk, by the time that they had started stabbing the guy, I turned into a coward. I didn't try and stop them. I was scared. I was scared they were going to leave me there like they did him. And I didn't do anything. And my case is not a killing. It's not just a murder. It's rated as capital murder, murder robbery, but that's not what it was either. My case was a slaughter. The man was stabbed 3 times in the face, 59 times in the back, and his throat was cut 16 times, almost decapitated. I'd just as soon have been killed like that man was and left there with him. Then the people that really matter to me wouldn't have been through what they've been through.
Certain situations, Grady, nowhere near as angry as he used to be.
The guy asked me, he said, you getting a visit today? Well, today's not visiting day. I said, yeah, I'm getting a visit today. I hadn't had a visit in 3 years. Y'all coming back is a visit to me. You know, I'm glad, I'm happy. And don't work me too hard.
You gotta work yourself.
They had a newscast on, and the guy sitting around the TV said, one day we were listening to it, and they said, Grady, that's your daughter they're talking about. And one of the guys that was getting the Mobile paper, there was an article in there, and sure enough, it was my daughter. And she had been murdered, and that's how I found out. I read it in the paper. My first reaction was, boy, if I could just get my hands on this cat. But that only lasted a few minutes. And it's like, what are you talking about, Grady? I can't feel that way. I don't like anything that he did. It makes me physically ill to think about what my daughter went through. But I gotta still love the guy. He's still a human, just like the rest of us. I don't like what he did. I hope he can't ever do that to nobody else ever again. But he's a human being. And if I believe anything about what I've said that I believe in, then I love him too. It's a choice. Vipassana gave me the right to make my own choice. I can choose how I want to react to this. I don't have to just react. I can't even tell you how much that surprises me that Grady Bankhead can sit here and tell you he actually did that. Because that doesn't sound anything like the Grady Bankhead I have known for 50 years.
Welcome back after clip number 4, a segment, or I should say a couple of segments from the documentary The Dhamma Brothers about a prisoner, Grady Bankhead, and the Alabama Correctional Facility. I find it to be a remarkable story, and I cannot recommend highly enough that you consider watching the entire documentary, The Dhamma Brothers. Indeed, it's even a book and a TED Talk by one of the organizers, Jenny Phillips. My high recommendation. And now we move on to our last clip, which is once again from our messenger of inner peace, our Vipassana teacher, Mr. S.N. Goenka, talking about how a Vipassana practitioner will find ways of being compassionate and at the same time skillfully, firmly handling both the bullies and the bullied, both aggressors and those who are aggressed, with a remarkable insight that it is the bully or the aggressor that is more in need of the Vipassana treatment, of the learning the Vipassana technique, and indeed receiving goodwill and compassion from others around him, especially those who have practiced and are familiar with the Vipassana teaching and technique. On to video number 5.
The whole technique is such that unless you learn equanimity at the depth of the mind where sensations are there, you can't expect the results. And when you work it that way, sensations are there and your equanimous sensation, anything happening outside will bring a sensation in the body. Pleasant or unpleasant, anything that happens outside will bring a sensation in the body, and if you are equanimous with that sensation, then whatever decision you make is a healthy decision. Whatever action you take is a healthy action. It is not that this technique will make you inactive, it will make you very active. Not that I am a Vipassana meditator now, like a vegetable, let anybody come and cut me, I don't care. No, no. Full of life, active life. The life of reaction will go away. And reaction is always full of negativity, full of misery. Now action will be positive, good for you, good for others. This change will come. And many times you will have to take very strong action, vocal, physical, very strong action. But deep inside the mind will be full of love, full of compassion. Wherever strong action is necessary, one has to take. Like an example, a child is running towards fire or towards a poisonous snake. For the child, this is some toy to play. You can't allow. You use all your force and keep the child away. The child will be crying, the child won't like it, but you have to keep the child away. There is no anger towards the child. There is only compassion. There is only goodwill. You want to help the child, but you have to use the strength. Like a very strong person, an aggressor, is harming a weak person, an aggressed person. And you say, I am a Vipassana meditator, I don't care. They suffer for their own karmas. No, Dhamma won't teach you that. You will take very strong action. You will stop this aggressor from taking this wrong action. If you are not a Vipassana meditator, then also you would have taken such an action, very strong action against the aggressor. But then you would have very much compassion towards the aggressed, the weaker one, and very much anger towards the aggressor. Now it is different. You have got compassion for the one who is weak, but you have got more compassion for the one who is the aggressor. Ignorant person, he does not know what he is doing. He is not only harming this weak person, he is harming himself also. He is generating so much of negativity, so much of ill will, and that goes against him. He doesn't understand. And he is so ignorant. He doesn't understand the soft language. We have to use hard language. This is what he understands. This is the only language he understands. You have to take hard action, very strong hard action, but full of love, full of compassion. First you have to examine yourself. Whenever you have to take hard action, you have to examine yourself that these are the sensations, because of the situation outside, these are the sensations, and I am not reacting to sensation. And this very person against whom I am going to take hard action, I have got compassion, nothing but compassion, nothing but compassion. Then yes, the technique has started working for you. Many incidents in the life of my teacher, Siaji Ubakhin. At times, he used to take very hard action. And sometimes those who were not very close to him, they will doubt what sort of Vipassana teacher he is. Sometimes he shouts so strongly. How is it? But those who were very close, it was so clear to us. When he shouts, there is no trace of anger, and yet it appears as if he is very angry. Deep inside, only love, only compassion. Of course, he was a very strict disciplinarian, even in his office when he was working with the government, and so also with the center. Whatever rules are there, discipline is there. Every student must work according to discipline. Because the purpose of one's coming here is to learn and to develop in Dhamma. If one is not working properly, then no use. So at times he will be very strict. There are meditation cells. Somebody will come out of the meditation cell and start walking here and there. He will question, hey, what you are doing? I will say, sir, it so happened, I came out, all right, I go back. After some time again he comes out, hey, what happened? And again some excuse. And when you find this fellow is not working according to discipline, then sitting in the hall, he will say, Goenka, I have to use some harsh words for this person. Let me go down. And these cells are just about 5 or 6 steps below, and he goes there, knocks the door, and he shouts. And this is the shout of a great Vipassana master. This is like an earthquake. The whole Vipassana center starts like trembling, shouts, and then comes up those 4 or 5 steps, smiling and laughing. Goenka, I have shouted on this fellow. I have shouted. What kind of shout is this? So much of love, so much of compassion. So in life, many times one has to take hard decisions because the person does not understand any other language, hard decisions, but always love, always compassion, always goodwill. If there is even a trace of ill will, you have started harming yourself. How can you help others? If you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody. First, you have to help yourself.
Welcome back after clip number 5, where our Vipassana teacher, our messenger of inner peace, gives us an approach to deal with both bullies and the bullied, the aggressor as well as the aggressed, with the unusual insight, definitely new to me, that it is the aggressor and the bully who is more in need of and will benefit more from being a receiver of compassion and goodwill and inner peace of those around him. I'm glad I finally put all these clips together. I've been meaning to do it for a while. I hope it provokes some reflection and some thought in you that yes, here we seem to have an ancient technique spread across the globe now, remarkably for about the last 50 years, where we can take much more responsibility for eliminating our own suffering and for enhancing our own inner peace and harmony, and thereby enhancing it for everyone around us. I began my Vipassana voyage in January last year. That would be January 2018, and I'm very glad I did. If you're considering doing a course, I can't encourage it highly enough. I wish you well. Take care. Good luck.